Quick little disclaimer here, this is not a spoiler warning, but just a heads up that I'm only going to be discussing the campaign to Halo Infinite, not the multiplayer, campaign only. Halo is honestly one of the biggest pillars of history in the video game world, not to mention it is the Xbox exclusive series and always has been ever since Xbox was created. It all started in 2001 with Halo Combat Evolved, developed by Bungie and released on November 15th, 2001, and when I say this game changed the world, I mean it. It was by far and away the best controlling first-person shooter on console. It was the first first-person shooter game to utilize regenerative health. It told one of the most compelling stories in gaming at the time. It was a FPS game that also put some focus on driving and vehicle combat. The release of Halo Combat Evolved truly was groundbreaking, and no pun intended here, but a game changer to the fullest extent. Not to mention introducing us to so many iconic video game pieces. The Master Chief as a character, the energy sword as a weapon, and who could ever forget the signature Halo theme song. And as with any major success, there are going to be sequels, and Halo is no exception. The following two games, Halo 2 in 2004 and Halo 3 in 2007, once again are two of the greatest games ever made, often being argued over as to which one is superior. Not to mention Halo 2 setting the trend of modern gaming and going all in on online multiplayer. Then, after those two games, yet another banger came out in 2010 in the form of Halo Reach, a prequel to the very first game. There are seriously very few game series, if any at all, that can compete with Halo in terms of quality of games during that 9 or 10 year stretch. Personally, I think Halo 3 is the best there is, but these are all bangers in the most serious of senses. Unfortunately though, Halo has been in a rough spot for a while now. Many people point the blame for this on 343 Industries. After Halo Reach, Bungie and Microsoft split ways. To my understanding, it is because Microsoft wanted more and more Halo, but Bungie didn't want to become a one-trick pony. So once that bridge had been burned, Halo got turned over to 343 Industries. Their first foray into the Halo universe, Halo 4, came out in 2014. It was immediately clear that this game was not up to the same standards Halo fans have come to expect. And then it was the next entry, Halo 5 Guardians, that is often cited as the lowest point in the series, and I honestly have to agree. Given the series' pedigree, it pains me to see Halo beginning to fade into the past with these lackluster games. Looking to right their wrongs, 343 decided to shake things up a bit with their next mainline entry, Halo Infinite. They specifically tried to harken back to the feel of the classic Halo games, and then they decided to take the campaign and make it open world. And with Infinite being the only Halo campaign I haven't played yet, I was eager to jump into it, despite knowing that it likely won't be all that great. And when it's all said and done, I don't think I've played a game that's left me so conflicted with myself. Let's find out why and discuss Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite was developed by 343 Industries and published by Xbox Game Studios. It was released on December 8th, 2021 for PC, Xbox One, and Xbox Series consoles. I played on my PC through PC Game Pass, and my PC has 32 gigs of RAM, a Ryzen 9 5900X, and a Radeon 6750 XT, so all footage you are seeing was recorded from that machine using AMD Adrenalin. I also played a decent amount on my Lenovo Legion Go, and this was the first time I felt I was kind of pushing this thing to its limits. I had every graphical setting on its lowest setting and was running a target frame rate of 60, I think, and it played fine once I lowered everything. I tried at not quite the lowest settings before, and it wasn't as smooth as I would like, but even after lowering everything, it would still be stuttery when driving, but it was most definitely playable 99% of the time. In Halo Infinite, you play as the Master Chief. As him, you team up with the Weapon, an AI assistant, and Echo 216, a rogue Pelican pilot. As a team, you guys end up on Installation 7, a damaged Halo ring. On this ring, you come in contact with the Banished, a group of former Covenant soldiers who are trying to rebuild and reactivate the ring in order to destroy humanity. Since Master Chief is human, you begin to take steps to stop that from happening. I'm just gonna outright say it, this game does not get the credit it deserves. I honestly would call this a return to form for Halo. First and foremost, it feels amazing, and probably the best feeling Halo yet. Halo doesn't always let you aim down sights, and that goes for the whole series. There were some guns you could, but some you couldn't. I think this might have changed in Halo 5, but I haven't played that in a while, and it kind of sucks, so I'm not about to jump back into that one. But in Infinite, as far as I can tell, you can aim down sights with any gun, making the weapon handling feel a step above the usual. My favorite weapon in particular was the Commando, a full auto, hard-hitting rifle that is 2x zoom. When I was running this gun, hitting headshot after headshot, ooh, it felt good. Then also using my grapple hook to snag a quote-unquote explosive barrel, for lack of a better term, and throw it at the enemies, I was honestly finding myself in almost a flow state at times when in combat. I think it was the first Halo in a long time, potentially ever, that really made me feel like a true badass. And to go along with the weapons, I appreciate how they decided to have different weapons having their own role to fill. Allow me to explain. Plasma weapons, usually alien ones, do more damage against shields. Kinetic weapons, or human ones for the most part, do more damage against unshielded opponents. Shock weapons can be used to cause prolonged shock damage or to temporarily disable vehicles. Stuff like that. I actually really like this because it gives me a reason to mix up my weapons from time to time. I often would go out of my way to make sure I had a plasma and kinetic weapon in my loadout. If an enemy had a shield, I destroy it with my plasma weapon, then quickly switch to a kinetic weapon to finish them off. But what makes this system extra viable to me is that it wasn't too restrictive. You can still deactivate enemy shields with kinetic weapons. You can still kill unshielded enemies with plasma weapons. It is a mechanic that is present, but it doesn't force you into it. If you don't like any of the plasma weapons or whatever, then you don't have to use them. I can appreciate this because it lets people play the way they want to play. All playstyles are able to finish the game, and I can appreciate that. But ultimately, the main reason I enjoyed my time with this game is the story that gets told, and even at times shows a much more human side to Master Chief. Master Chief is a very robotic character whose only concern is saving humanity from the alien threats it faces. In fact, in Infinite, he says that protecting humanity is his programming. It's all he knows. But then there he is, comforting the Pelican pilot, saying everyone makes mistakes after he did something rather dumb. But even aside from Master Chief, going through trying to dismantle the Banished and their plans, and where that takes you, is a story very much worth experiencing. All the while, your relationships with the pilot and the AI continue to grow and blossom. Honestly, I was really surprised by how much I enjoyed it. Really, the only drawback to the game I can think of is the fact that there was no need for it to be open world. I've always felt that one of Halo's strongest attributes is the mission and level design. There are countless missions from Halo 3 and Halo Reach that are burned in my memory for being so iconic, Halo 3 especially. And making Infinite open world and making the missions very open-ended and stuff, it really eliminates some of that pizzazz that Halo missions have. Yes, the story as a whole is great, but I wouldn't say there are any individual iconic moments that I will remember from here. The closest it came was a mission where I was in a tank blasting away to the Halo theme, but that type of thing is in every Halo game. There's no really thing in Infinite that screams this is a Halo Infinite experience. And then not to mention, there's the world itself. The whole game takes place on Installation 7, and the Halo rings have a very distinct type of look and terrain, resembling a boreal forest, some would say. But because the whole game takes place there really is nothing on the map that stuck out to me or encouraged exploration. The map was one note and lacked any real characteristics outside of what we've come to expect from Halo rings. I would have much preferred the typical Halo mission and level structure here. But all that being said, let's bring it back to when I said I was conflicted about this game. I feel that way for two reasons. One of which having already been addressed with the open world aspect. I feel that an open world Halo game was not necessary, and I maintain that belief. Secondly, a bit more of a hot take maybe, as iconic as he is, I think it's time to retire the Master Chief. I think the next Halo 6 or 7 or 8, whatever they decide to call it, needs to wrap up his story, and the series needs to move on. Halo Reach proved that a great, compelling Halo story can be told without the Master Chief, and after Infinite, I still maintain that belief. But this campaign was so good, it almost makes me curious to see what Chief will do next. So I'm conflicted with this game because it did two things that I don't think it needed to do, and I still believe it didn't need to go open world or star the Chief. Two major things about the game, but yet I enjoyed it so much. I would say it's my third favorite Halo campaign, behind 3 and Reach. All that being said, I really hope Master Chief's story comes to an end in the next game. He's an iconic character, and he needs to know when to throw in the towel. I truly do believe that. But even if it doesn't, Halo Infinite will forever be a high point in his story and the Halo franchise as a whole.
Who's firing on me? I'm hit. Give me cover. Drop one. Careful with the friendly fire.
Well, there you have it, my long-awaited and delayed multiple times Halo Infinite video. I know I got waiting so long because I honestly had a lot of fun playing this game. Thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate your attention and time. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button so you tell YouTube you liked the video. Next up, I'm concluding my catch-up on the Gears of War franchise, and we'll be playing Gears 5, which, knowing E-Day is on its way, I picked a good time to catch up. Even though E-Day is going to be a prequel, I would still feel the need to play the rest of the games. I go all in. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. Maybe even turn on the post notifications, please. Lastly, let's talk Halo in the comments. Your thoughts on Infinite, Bungieverse 343, thoughts on the Master Chief, anything Halo related I want to talk about. And if you don't have any thoughts on that stuff, just bark like a dog for me in the comments. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.